Okay, we are live. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, you were able to get to the new link. Today is day one of the Microsoft Business Applications to April 2019 Airlift, and we'll do a community review of all the new features. First up, though, where do you go to stay plugged in? We have four communities across business applications. First one being community.dynamics.com, community.powerapps.com, community.flow.microsoft.com, and community.powerbi.com. So, with that said, to save a bunch of time to catch up, we're going to go ahead and start the first video, which is going to be covering Dynamics 365 for marketing. We also have the team on the chat. If you have questions during the course of the video, please post in the chat window and we will certainly get back to you. Testing. Well, you can hear me. All right, let's try this one more time. Give us 1 second, folks, while we try to clear up the audio issue. All right, it sounds like we have some technical difficulties that we need to overcome. So, with that said, I know we're somewhat running over. Um, We will get back to you very soon with a reschedule time.
areas where we are focusing is to simplify the whole process, as well as not only to simplify the UI for creating marketing activities, but also, the onboarding, the deployment, the learning, so on and so forth. Areas where we are focusing is to simplify the whole process, as well as not only to simplify the UI.
All right, everyone. I think we've cleared up the issue. I'm going to knock on wood, including my head. So this is a retry of Dynamics 365
All right,
marketing.
everyone. I think we've cleared up the issue. I'm going to knock on wood, including my head. So this is a retry of Dynamics.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to today's web conference. What's new for Dynamics 365 Marketing with Spring 2019 release? Presented by Gufran.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Program Manager.
I'd like to welcome you to today's web conference. What's new for Dynamics 365? Taking the time out today for attending this session, specifically for people that are in the evening time zone for now. Let's hope this session is going to be a rock and roll, and there's a lot of great information that I can share with you about the great possibilities coming out in the spring with Dynamics 365 for marketing. So having said that, hope the screen is visible. Perfect. So let me get into the details. The format of the meeting is going to be stop. No, it's working. So from a format of the meeting perspective, we'll just go through a set of slides. We are going to give a high-level overview of some of the key capabilities. There's a lot of capabilities that are coming up as part of the spring release, but some of the key capabilities that we have documented in the release notes, which we think are the highlights, we're going to go through a brief description of those. And once we have gone through the brief description of all those capabilities, we are going to then focus our efforts and attention on the demo, where I'll show you how it all works in the system. So from a capabilities perspective, the value prop still remains the same. As you can see, it's turned business prospects into business relationships. The focus remains the same. It's nurturing and helping, the demand generation process end to end, right from a lead acquisition all the way through nurturing, all the way to qualification, so on and so forth, sitting on the same data stack as sales, service, and other Dynamics 365 workloads, so connected business apps, supporting, the whole process in the marketing engagement process with smarter insights and having an extendable platform underneath. The key themes and the value pillars, of Dynamics 365 for marketing, well, you will see these themes repeated iteratively over and over again, release after release, because this is where we will kind of try to focus our investments. And this is what is mentioned on this slide at the moment. So we have a theme called Actionable Intelligence. So here we will definitely help you to create better segmentation things. We will be able to provide you better AI in order to deliver, let's say, intelligence for your various marketing processes. We have the theme for personalized marketing, where we'll deliver capabilities like dynamic personalization of websites and other stuff. We have the themes for easy onboarding. So this is one of the key areas where we are focusing is to simplify the whole process, as well as not only to simplify the UI for creating marketing activities, but also, the onboarding, the deployment, the learning, so on and so forth. And we have come up with some new assets which will help a newbie user to get acquainted with our tool and not to go through, let's say, loads and heaps of documentation. Then we have the capabilities for integration and extend. So this is, needless to say, it's sitting on extensible stack. Nonetheless, what we have learned is even if it is extensible for many of the customers and for many of the prospects, it's much more important that we get some integrated scenarios out the box. So we will double down those efforts, and we'll try to light up scenarios between, for example, sales and marketing, where instead of asking the customer to optimize or to customize the stuff manually, we will just deliver some out-of-the-box scenarios. And then, of course, you can completely extend it going forward. And then we will continue to focus on our fundamental investments, and fundamental investments will span across, for example, increasing the scale, increasing the performance, increasing the usability, and so on and so forth. And small nuts and bolts in our overall value offering, for example, in quota management, giving you a little bit more insights into how your quota is progressing. So there was a lot of investments that will continue to go on in the fundamental space. So these are the key themes. We'll look into some of the key features on the next slide, but keep in mind the key things. It's all about actionable intelligence. It's all about personalized marketing. It's all about easy onboarding. It's all about integrate and extend under the concept of connected business apps. And it's all about, let's say, fundamental investment. So let's go on to the next slide. This is just a snapshot of what we have today. Nothing has changed. This is what we have since we have launched in 2018. The key pillar is multi-channel, multi-step campaign orchestration with all the channels, out-of-the-box channels for emails, for surveys, for events, LinkedIn integration, and many other capabilities and designers that are used in order to actually generate these multi-step engagements with the customers available. Lead nurturing, lead management, key value props, so all the tools with respect to lead scoring, with respect to lead management, qualification processes, so on and so forth, available within the tool already. You have embedded intelligence, which is already coming up, which is already there in the system with respect to, as we said, with lead scoring, with better segmentation experience, with inline insights that you have, with social insights. You have the events management capability, a complete data model to run, let's say, B2B events as well as some of these small B2C events. Comes with the whole data model of sessions, speakers, logistics, and what have you. And then we have, of course, the reporting, and there are multiple aspects of reporting that we deliver, starting from CRM reporting to inline reporting to Power BI, custom analytics reporting, so on and so forth. So that these key pillars remain the same, those capabilities remain the same. Now going forward, what are the new set of capabilities that are going to be launching in April? So here are some of the highlight pieces. And they all fit in one of the themes that we discussed before. So in terms of capabilities, one of the key things that we are launching in April is extensibility of campaigns and segments. I'll just repeat it because just the headers, because we have follow-up slides that are coming up on each of these capabilities. Then using, let's say, enabling the API, so customer journeys and segments. We are enabling integration of third-party content management systems. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We are enabling, let's say, easy onboarding with new experiences. We are enabling, let's say, lifecycle enhancements and deeper insights. Lots of feedback on that one that we have received, whereby we're making it consistent, the lifecycle, as well as providing better insights for the various marketing activities. We are continuing to add on our connected business app story with out-of-the-box scenario, sales integration enhancements. We'll show what kind of capabilities we have available over here. Social posting is a new capability that we are delivering with April, so now we'll be able to post on social channels. Yeah, again, events management is already a big piece of our value offering, and we're just enhancing those capabilities and doing one by one. So now enhanced event illustration, QR codes, so on and so forth. Segmentation, we are refining the experience of segmentation, and things that were cumbersome to actually do in the segmentation designer, we're trying to simplify it by removing things like GUIDs, providing lookups, more operators, so on and so forth. So these are the key capabilities from a general availability. And then there's a bunch of capabilities that are coming in the preview that we're going to be launching in. And these primarily focus on our intelligence piece, so AI-based intelligence pieces. Some of the key areas where we will be trying to light up the initial AI capabilities in marketing will span like smart scheduling, segment boost, and I'll talk about it later, or spam score, We'll also be enabling website personalization for our customers, as well as mixed reality content. So these are the set of key capabilities. As I said, as we would go into the release notes of and the documentation of our product, you will see much more finer grained items also coming along throughout the product, but these are the key areas. So you can already think about dynamic website personalization, extensions through APIs, new onboarding, easy onboarding experiences, dependency of portal removed. So some of the key themes, social posting that you can keep in your perspective, and a first step towards artificial intelligence and making the life of the customer and marketer easier with predefined recommendations on running a personalized marketing. Let's go into a little bit more.
Gufran, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
There's a request on the chat panel to slow down a bit for.
So let's look into the key capabilities a little bit more in detail. Extensibility of campaigns and management. With the launch of April 2019 release, we will be releasing APIs, officially APIs, and through these APIs, you'll be able to dynamically and programmatically create segments, add members to segments, remove members from segments, manage the life cycle of those segments, as well as you will be able to dynamically and programmatically create customer journeys, change the life cycle of those customer journeys, change some of the attributes of those customer journeys. And these APIs are very important as customers try to use the Dynamics 365 Cloud Marketing product in conjunction with their other marketing products or in conjunction with their other products in the ecosystem. As an example, they might be using some other product for doing audience or defining or targeted audience based on many of the signals they've received. As an example, consider it for example, they might be using demand base. And they would want to push, base those set of audiences into the marketing system to be engaged, but they need to actually have an API to programmatically push it rather than manually selecting one by one. So these APIs will enable those capabilities. There are customers which based on some other systems, POS systems or operation system or commerce system, would want to send and engage some of the customers for the scenarios. As I use an example, if somebody is just abandoning a shopping cart, and in this particular case, if you know somebody is abandoning a shopping cart, in the other system, you can take that contact and push that contact programmatically into a segment which is attached to a campaign, and that campaign can go live or it's already running. You can even change, the message in that particular campaign that goes out. So these are the first set of APIs that we are opening, which support all the operations officially in terms of changing the content, in terms of generation of those entities, in terms of life cycle of those entities. So that's for the extension of extensibility of campaigns and segments. Next, we are opening up the integration of content management system. And some part of it is already available, but we have really holistically with this particular release, we have removed the dependency on Dynamics 365 for portals. So up till now, whenever you needed to install marketing, you needed to have a Dynamics 365 portal, and there was a hard dependency on it. We use that portal in order to host marketing pages. We use that portal to host event website. We use that portal to host subscription pages, so on and so forth. So a lot of use cases. What we heard from the customer is they do not want to use Dynamics 365 for portal, primarily because many of the customers have their own websites. They have their own websites. They want their end users to land on their websites. They want their end users to fill forms on their websites, themed in the same way as the rest of the website. They want to have the subscription pages on there, and a lot of other reasons why they want to use their own CMS system. With the release of this one, we have removed this dependency. You would now be able to just attach or connect any third-party CMS system to Dynamics 365 for marketing. You'll be able to actually host your event website if we have provided in the form of Angular framework. You can use that and host it on your third-party CMS website. You'll be able to actually create your forms on your third-party CMS website, and thus integrate those third-party forms into Dynamics 365 for marketing without losing any kind of functionality. So all submissions, all data that the user fills in the landing form, in the marketing form, will go back into marketing and be stored over there. You will still get the same set of submissions and interactions on which you can build lead scoring, on which you can build segmentation, on which you can build triggers to define flows. And not only that, you'll be able to host subscription centers also on your third-party website. So we have just removed that dependency completely, and now you should be able, without losing any functionality in the marketing product in terms of orchestration, in terms of flow, in terms of segmentation, just connect your third-party CMS website. Of course, there is a certain set of manual work because you're trying to integrate third-party manual website, but we have provided the necessary mechanics in terms of scripts, in terms of easy customizations to match both the systems together. One advantage of removing this is also on the pricing piece for the customer. So previously, customers who needed to have more than one marketing app because they have just multiple systems in their landscape needed to buy not only the marketing app, but they also needed to buy the portal. So that was an additional cost for the customers. Going forward, that cost is gone. If you don't want a portal, you just use your existing CMS system. You don't need to pay for the portal. All you need to worry about is the marketing app. So that's an added advantage, going forward starting April. And we have enabled even the capability for the customer to change as when he wants. So he might actually start with his own CMS, but at a certain point in time, maybe in 6 months and 10 months, he might want to use Dynamics 365 portals because he started using it for some other purpose. Completely possible. We are providing the mechanics for the customer to move from one or the other. Of course, there are some limitation and constraints that could be associated. You cannot expect a marketing landing page or a marketing form that is hosted on website to all of a sudden get the URL of the other. So there are some constraints that the customer needs to be aware of when he makes that decision. Nonetheless, the mechanics are available to him to help him and support him from choosing one or the other way, whatever suits him best. Next, improving easy onboarding. So this was one of the other great feedback that we continuously received from the customers, which was great product, very flexible, too much of functionality available. I just don't know when I land into the system what to do. Primarily, some of the biggest concerns that the customers had was when they were trying to use a trial. They come in a trial, they land into a system which is highly powerful, highly flexible, with a huge amount of capabilities in the that he's visible in the navigation panel, but he just doesn't know where to start. How to create an email, where does he need to segment, where does he need to create the campaign, so on and so forth. So we took a little bit of a different approach, and we said, okay, we're going to provide kind of an onboarding experience, and depending on the expertise and the comfort of the user with the tool, it will be beneficial for him to that particular extent. So now when the user will land up into the system, he will be greeted with a get started page whose main sole purpose is to help the user to do some of the most basic stuff. For example, create an email, directly navigate him how the email gets created. Create an audience and directly navigate to him where the audience gets created. Create a campaign and navigate him where the campaign gets created. Give him links to some of the most advanced capabilities so that he doesn't need to search through the documentation. So if he is interested in creating a landing form, he gets a list of these common things and documentations attached to it, whereby he could just click it and see, oh, this is how I can create a landing form. Nice. We will get, let's say, a nice carousel, which will tell him some of the newer capabilities that we keep on pushing to the customer. So if I push a new capability, that capability will light up in that get starting page. And he might say, oh, all of a sudden he knows that there's social posting available now in the latest updated system. And he can click this to find out more and even try to start using social posts. And finally, the most important thing is with respect to his quota management. Customers really want visibility on their context quota and their email quota. So we bring, instead of hiding it right down in depth with an advanced setting, we have bring that up, and put it right on the get started page. So there's a view of it, available for the customer to continuously know how you're doing with his quota consumption as of the moment. Is he inline? Is he overusing? Is he underusing? And in case of trials, also get to know how many days of the trial are remaining right now. This is one of the most common complaints we receive when the trial expires and the customer says, well, I was off for a week or I did not know about it. And now, can you do something? So this will definitely help a lot of, this will definitely go a long way, we believe, in terms of getting the new prospects, getting them into the tool, getting them comfortable with the tool, and giving them a value prop. They were showing them value of the product in much lesser time than previously possible. So, and this is just a first step into this improvisation of easy onboarding and easy adoption. And you'll see more capabilities that we'll bring up into the future, sometimes in this perspective and sometimes in a whole feature and functionality perspective. Next, we did the lifecycle enhancement and deeper insights. This is another one of those features. I mean, we received a lot of feedback where customers said, you know what, I go into a campaign, it has a different life cycle it goes through. Then I go into a segmentation, it goes through a different life cycle in terms of draft, going live, which is always a confusion, but pretty much it means publishing. Or in customer journey, I can do certain live editing, whereas for example, in segments, I can't do live editing, and things around about those capabilities. So what we did, we said, okay, we're going to make it consistent. We're going to make it consistent across the marketing entity. It doesn't matter if it's a campaign, it's a journey, it's an email, it's a page, it's a form. All of them will follow a very standard lifecycle process, and in every entity, it would mean the same. So the customer knows exactly what to expect from these. So we made this consistent. The next thing we heard about from the customers is, your insights are good. I like them. Sorry. Your insights are good. I like them. But no, they are very dispersed. Emails has their own set of insights. Customer journey shows in a different way the insights. Not all the insights that are relevant from email marketing are available to me. As an example, you tell me it's blocked, but I just don't know what is blocked. Can you make them better? Can we give you more actionable insights? And can you bring a little bit structure to those aspects? So we enhance all the inline insights that are available within marketing entities. So once you go into emails, and we'll see it in the demo, you'll get a much more structured view of all the insights, whether it's clicks, whether it's interactions, whether it's open, whether it's bounced. And it's much more structured, and that structure will be repetitive across the various marketing entities. And you will also start to see a lot more uniformity in terms of the charts, in terms of the visuals that are available. And this is just, again, our fourth step to consolidating and harmonizing those insights. And we'll keep on harmonizing them and beefing them as we go on forward. Sales integration enhancements. We keep on repeating the same thing, and we keep on saying marketing and sales are on the same stack, services on the same stack. We work together, it's the same DB, it's the same CDS, and all the data is shared, and things should be, there's no concept of integration, it's just the same data they are operating in. So visibility to all the sales and marketers on each other works, and they can definitely use each other capabilities if both the environments are there, if both the products and the applications are there in the same environment. So we keep on repeating it, we keep on saying it. Nonetheless, what we learned over the last few months is, no matter how much we preach it, it's a completely different story if such setups or such scenarios are available out of the box. So as an example, it was possible for a sale before that the sales guy can actually add a particular user to a marketing segment. And one of our customers was also asking the sales guy. It's a very common scenario. Marketers want to reach out in a B2B environment to a certain set of customers, and they would normally ask the sales guys to give them their top 10 accounts. Now, this was possible before. All the customer needed to do is give the sales guy access to the segmentation piece, and the sales guy could just enter the segment and add a few contacts into that one. But that was a lot more work, and it was not acceptable. So what we did right now, going with into the April release, is we have light up some basic scenarios. What we did is we have put, let's say, a button on the contact screen and the contact list where you can just click it and it will show you a pop-up to add the contact directly to the segment. You don't need to go to the segmentation designer. You need to worry about how a segment is designed. All you need to do from a sales perspective is, if he's working with a certain contact, he's looking into it, he clicks the button, and by clicking the button, he can just select whatever segment he wants to add in, whatever segment he wants to remove in. So use cases like remove this guy from nurturing process, and he could just go to a contact, click the button to remove, select which segment he wants him to remove to, and that's it. So we have kind of given this capability out of the box, and we will be going and we're going to be doubling down all these efforts to provide these out of the box scenarios and out of the box setups, so that the adoption of it is much more easy, and the customer can relate to it. That just, okay, this is how sales and marketing can just work seamlessly together without any additional customization. Social posting. This is one of the key features that we are really delivering. So we already had social listening prior to this, where customers could go and look at all the social traffic that is happening, on Twitter, and see, what the keywords, that are currently, trending, so on and so forth. With April, we'll also be enabling the marketers to post directly from within the product to social channels. Social channels that we will be supporting are Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Again, this is built on an extensible interface. So this is just our first shot at it. If customers want to do some more, they can definitely try to extend. But with the enablement of this, they'll be able to directly send messages to the social posts, to those social channels, and then use those for making aware or actually generating demand and generating awareness about their marketing activities. Going forward, we'll leave this capability up, but for the moment in April, we're enabling the customers and the marketers to start doing social posting from within the Dynamics 365 for marketing product. Enhanced event registration experience. So, as you said before, events registration module for us, is a very completely cohesive module with all the data model that is allows us to do B2B events, not only, let's say, from setting up those events and tracking those and registering, but also all the logistics, so on and so forth. And we have some customers who are adopting those, who are continuously adopting our Dynamics 365 for marketing, particularly because of events management. The requirements are continuously coming in as they start implementing those. So we're continuously improving and optimizing and bringing in features in the events management arena. And we have delivered capabilities throughout the last year in chunks, like interface to do payment purchase gateway integration, so on and so forth. With the April release, again, we will enable a couple of other capabilities. We'll enable for easy session registrations. We have enabled the support of QR codes that can be used for sessions registrations. We have enabled and made better the waitlisting mechanism for events management. So these are some of the capabilities that were coming up. Not to mention that throughout the course of the year, we also launched our Angular framework for the event website that you can just download and just adopt it and host it somewhere else instead of using the events management portal directly with Dynamics 365. So continuously see a stream of optimizations and enhancements coming in. This is some of the things that we are launching in April. Marketer-friendly segmentation experience. Simple, in very simple terms, it's more or less a refinement of our segmentation experience as of the moment, whereby we have improved across the board small things, right from a performance, right from the set of operators that are available, right from removing the dependency on GUIDs, painful, that you have to put a GUID in to define a rule and a condition, right from actually providing lookups to some of the attributes, like from removing, let's say, the complicated interaction selection and giving a much more user-friendly name for interaction selection, right from removing, let's say, the technical relationship names and giving, let's say, a more user-friendly technical relationship name so that the customer or the marketer can create the rules much more easily rather than thinking what is the technical relationship name between a contact and an account. So optimizing the usability, the performance, and the capabilities of the segmentation to make it more and more friendlier and more meatier for the various needs of the marketer. Now we move on into some of the AI pieces. So AI, this is a first step to bringing the power of AI into Dynamics 365 for marketing. And some of the basic principles that we have pivoted on our strategy is, we believe that the AI capabilities should be seamless for a marketer, should be directly consumable by a marketer, and should be embeddable within the product itself. So the direction we're taking is we're not exposing, let's say, the complexities of the AI algorithms, of the AI modeling, of the AI embedding. What we're saying is we're going to be delivering, let's say, you a capability, an AI capability scenario, which will be smart enough to learn, to adapt based on the data that you have, and then give you positive results in order to take action on that one. And foremost, one of the first and most common ones is smart scheduling. So with smart scheduling, you'll be able to just rely on the system intelligence and say, I want to send this campaign and this email. I want to start this campaign and send this email from today to, let's say, next Friday. Within the span of this, I just don't know what is the best time to get the best open rate from the consumer. Can you send the email at the best time? The system, based on all the past data, is going to then, for context, evaluate and suggest and take an action saying, okay, Fran, for example, opens the email best on Saturday morning. So email to him is going to go on Saturday morning. At the same time, John opens the email better on a Monday morning. So his email is going to go on a Monday morning. So this is smart scheduling. The system will learn and keep on improving and automatically suggest and take the action of sending the emails at the right time with respect to the right context. So this is the first step towards it, smart scheduling of emails. Next, segment boost. How often, have we realized that we define our best audience that we are aware of, and we try to do segmentation based on that one, and we think that we have defined, as I said, the best audience that we can think for a particular marketing engagement. Yet we know that in a huge customer database that we have, there are a lot of prospects that we just are not privy to, or a lot of context, that we just don't know will also be interested in it. So with the enablement of segment boost, the system will give you the possibility where you can say, okay, I have defined a cohort of people, and based on my own logic, based on my own experience, people living in Seattle, within a certain age group, having a certain job profile, working in a certain industry, XYZ. And this is what the attributes that I know. But there might be many other people in my system which are similar in nature. So please take my people as a starting point for your campaign, but can you enhance the segment that I'm targeting with some more context? But those contexts should be similar to what I have selected. And the system will then check all behind the scenes, will get to work, and based on the context you selected, try to find out much more other similarities that can exist between these people and a set of other people. And based on certain confidence level, again, all customizable, biased, and definable and trainable, the system is going to start, proposing and adding more people into the segment to increase the reach of your marketing engagement activities and not be limited to only what you selected. So that's the segment boost. Spam score, this is one of the most common things. Every person, every marketer designs an email. His biggest fear is it better land in the inbox and it should not land anywhere else. And there are multiple ways we provide a complete deliverability team and deliverability support service in order to ensure that customers' emails are going to land, but that's the best we could do in terms of deliverability. What content gets into the system is built into the email is completely the marketer's responsibility. And we've now provided the marketer with the capability to see, okay, the email that he just built, the content that he has just put, it has XY spam score, which is good or bad. And this would give him a good confidence that if he sends this email out, chances are that it's going to land in the inbox versus it's going to land in the spam. So this capability is also enabled. All these AI capabilities that we talked about right now, these are going to be enabled in preview, public preview, and you'll be able to then use and test and validate and try it on your own data sets. I believe starting June. Please check the latest release notes for any timeline related information. But these are part of the April release that is going to be available in preview in June. Website personalization. Another key capability again goes into the personalization theme, and one of the key things that we think we are enabling is most of the data for a particular customer is stored in the CRM system and in its marketing system because it just contains all the signals and the events that the customer has interacted with. And within the personalizing and usage of that data for personalizing the engagement is of high importance. We know email personalization. You want to say, hi, John, or give him a better image that will resonate with him. But more and more we see that website personalization is also becoming one of the most common thing. When I land onto a website, I get a different experience versus when John Doe lands on a website. So with the release of April, with the April launch, we'll be enabling customers and marketers to personalize their website based on the data that is available in the Dynamics 365 system. So we'll be providing them mechanics whereby they can then inquire on their third-party CMS websites. That is the key thing. So you can just personalize your third-party CMS websites based on the data that is available in the Dynamics 365 marketing system. All you would need to do is potentially put a script and identify which attributes you are interested in. If you want to know which user is landing on your website who has not signed in. So currently it's still an anonymous user, but for marketing website, for a marketing system, that user might not be anonymous. I might have placed a cookie on the website and I might have identified that user in the past because he filled a form. So as soon as the user lands on your website, the marketing system will actually do the reverse lookup and say, okay, this is the cookie of this user. This user is related to this contact ID in my system. And here is the 5 attributes that you wanted to know about this contact, whether it's job, whether it's industry, so on and so forth. Currently, it works on the contact and its first level contact attributes. And you sometimes change the layout and change the look and feel or the content that is presented to that user. And we'll see a demo of that one. So that is the key. It's not about, let's say, it's not about when the user is logged in. Of course, when the user is logged in into the system, you can definitely find a lot more about. The key thing is when the user is not logged in and he just lands on your website, how can you get this information from a dynamic system to a third-party CMS system of who that user is at runtime, and also give him the necessary access to the related information so that he can use that and dynamically personalize his website at runtime. So this is what we will be enabling. Mixed reality content is another of the capabilities that we'll be launching in preview. Primarily, we'll be enabling like videos we did in the past. Similarly, we'll be enabling you to add mixed reality content to emails and marketing pages. And of course, depending on the technology that you've used in order to create those experiences, whether it's a 3D experience, whether it's a mixed reality experience, which device it is being opened on, the output asset, for example, in email, you can definitely embed those capabilities in your email. And when the email gets opened on a certain device, whether it's a desktop, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a mobile device, depending on the technology that you've used in order to create that 3D content or that mixed reality content, the experience of the customer is going to vary. So you'll be able to enable it in preview again and see, how do the customers adopt it and what are the various kind of technologies, that they're using in order to create these mixed reality and augmented reality contents. And that was more or less it from a key capability perspective that we have launched in April. As the next step, what we'll do is we'll go into the system and see some of these capabilities in action. So let me actually remove this, try to load up the system, which hopefully is still active. Just give me a sec. All right. This is my Twitter feed. Okay, perfect. All right, so before I go on to that one, I would just want to show you, again, I think there's one more screen over here, the scenario. So just to keep the context, and since there are so many varied capabilities, it's difficult to stitch a story that will just hit each and every point that we are releasing, because we're just releasing across the web. But just, for the sake of simplicity, keep the persona and the scenario in perspective. It's more about Contoso Bank that is launching its new mortgage program for consumers, as well as, it's trying to reach out some real estate companies in order to market its program to them, which they were going to sell it for their further consumers. So that's the scenario overall, and we'll try to walk through this scenario through the whole rest of the demo in various capabilities. So let's say as a marketer, the first thing what happens is as I log into my Dynamics 365 for marketing product, as we can see, I'm in the Dynamics 365 for marketing system as of the moment. And the moment I log in, particularly when I'm using a trial, I'm greeted actually with this get started dashboard. And this is a great experience for me because I can know as a newbie user, not knowing the tool or being very new to the tool, exactly what are the most common things I want to do and how I'm going to do about it. It tells me directly, oh, do you want to create an email because that's the basic, or do you want to define your audience, or do you want to do a campaign? Most common thing that you would expect a marketer potentially to do and try out in a product. It also shows me directly what are the more richer capabilities I can try and make. So I can build pages and forms, I can create events, I can create campaigns with much more complicated churn triggers and sign-up flows, I can create lead scoring models, I can create generate activities in the customer journey, so on and so forth. And then it also sees directly there's something called a new panel, as you can see, a carousel, which keeps on highlighting some of the newer capabilities that are coming with every release as we are trying to upgrade the customer systems going forward. And here, for example, you see social posting, it is dynamic personalization, and this will continue. At the same point in time, you also get a quick overview of, oh, how my quota is looking. So I have so many emails that potentially I can send per month, and I've only used this month, so I'm good. I have so many contacts that I've purchased, marketing contacts, and this is how much I have used so far. So I'm still good and within my limits. And these are kind of the litmus review uses that are remaining for my email preview. So a good landing dashboard, which helps him not only to onboard and make his life easy in understanding the new product, but also gives him good insights into what are the extended capabilities and complicated capabilities which he can potentially utilize and start using the system. What are the newer things that are getting launched as of the moment, as well as what are the some of the key quota metrics that he wants to keep an eye on a day in and day out basis. So let's assume the user comes in and right off the bat he sees his eye catches, let's say, the social posting capability versus, oh, so I have something called a social posting that is available in the system right now. And hence, maybe I would want to try out a social posting. It's a very good time because I'm just about to, we just got the mandate to launch, let's say, my new Contoso mortgage program, and I would rather want to try out this. So how do I potentially utilize this one? He opens it, he tells him directly how he can set up those social posts, so on and so forth. So nice and tidy. He sees these instructions on how to go about it, and then right away launches into the product itself, where he says, okay, where am I looking at in my system? I'm looking at my marketing system over here where I can see the social post. So I click social post and it shows me a nice calendar of what social posts have gone out. And here, for example, I've already controlled a new mortgage plan social post that I've already posted into my Twitter feed over here, as you can see. Again, you can post different posts, to your Facebook, to your LinkedIn account, to your Twitter account. In this case, I've just posted right now a certain social post which is just highlighting a new Contoso mortgage program, and the field should be ready and everybody should be ready to hear news about it. I could directly go into my Twitter feed over here and see, oh yes, that social post that I posted has come over here from the user that is owning that particular account, and now it can be followed in. And if you have integrated the social listening tool that Microsoft Dynamics provides, then you will be able to also see and see the traffic, and the insights on how that social post is trending as of the moment. So that's the social posting capability that we have. Now that the user has launched in the social posting capability, the next thing he wants to do is he wants to create a much more standard marketing engagement activity in terms of sending emails, in terms of creating a campaign. But the first and foremost thing he wants to do is he wants to define his audience. So he says, this is a new program for our new mortgage plan. I need to know the audience, and there are multiple ways he can define the audience. One way to define the audience, he goes to his contacts, to his salespeople, and says, guys, can you tell me what are the key contexts that you want me to reach, or the key real estate companies that key people at the real estate companies you want me to reach, just to make sure that I get a good coverage. A sales rep, in this example, as you can see in this application, right in the same system, I've just opened my sales application. It's called the Sales Hub. And in the Sales Hub, I've opened up the contacts over here. And all I need to do now is, as a salesperson, I could say, oh, maybe I am more interested in, example, David. David is a good person. I am aware of him. So Let me see. And I would like to add him to the segment. Let's try again. Done. Something is, and here, for example, you can see that I can directly add David to a static segment. So this is one of the things that for adding directly from the contact screen through the use of this button, you are only allowed in order to add to a static segment. So the view customer, so the sales guy actually just says, okay, I want to add into a segment. I'm going to select, let's say, for example, premier customers over here, and all I need to do is select, and this guy is going to be added in that particular segment. Done and dusted. So this is similarly, I mean, as the product gets launched, you'll also be able to remove, let's say, the context from those from the segments, and you can do it from the contact list, or you can do it from the contact screen. So now the sales guy has added his contact, which is good. The marketer also goes back and says, I might want to create, let's say, directly from an API, because I've got, let's say, this third-party tool, and in this third-party tool, I want to I've done my relevant segmentation over there. I know the people I want to add. So how can I use the API for this particular purpose? I'm just giving you a small example over here in terms of the API that are available. Most of the APIs, as you can see, are documented over here. Not only have we documented the segmentation API, but we have also provided a good breadth of the syntax that you can potentially use in order to define the contents of that segment. So you can see, I mean, what is the syntax completely available in order to enable or in order to create dynamic segments from behind based on various conditions and rules. So as an example, let's say I was going to do this postman, and I need to just switch these things on. I'm going to use a tool in order to trigger the use of this API, and this interceptor is on as of the moment. So I have this API call, and I have this I mean, parameters that I've defined over here, and I could potentially change this to say something like, Contoso mortgage API segment. And hopefully, I mean, the interceptors are working fine. You can just see it's on. Yeah, it's on. So I should be able to directly send it back to that particular system. And that system should say, yeah, life is good over there. It did not return me any error, so on and so forth. So we can go back into the system and see that this is now available into the segments. And this is my sales app on the same system. I need to rather go to my segments and from the marketing environment. And you can see that I've already created a segment, but Contoso Mortgage API segment over here, which should contain the list of members that I just added through the API. In fact, as you can see, this is the customer, the user that I've added. So now, and similarly, you have APIs for remove, we have API for defining dynamic segments, and the same kind of APIs are available for customer journey. So I've done the second step. I've actually created, let's say, my audience segments, and with the help, and I've created this audience segments with the help by asking my salespeople in order to add it directly from their sales app, which they can just do it with a click of a button. I've used an external tool in order to push an external audience into a segment, and I'm going to be using the segment and try to create a campaign to target. Before I do the campaign, I want to directly create my main, first and foremost, email that I want to target, and I would directly go into my marketing emails and say, let me just quickly create a new marketing email as an example that I want to send out, to my real estate folks. So I just say, okay, this is a new email asset, awareness asset, I'm going to send to my real estate people. It's more about, let's say, a partnership, because I'm sending it to the real estate companies. And if it comes onto the screen, hopefully. Yeah, so now it's there. And let's assume for a second that I've prepared it, I put all the content in. for me, the most important thing at the moment, as of the moment, is how is my email looking at? And here I can quickly see, oh, the email that I just designed, for example, has a spam score of 23, which sounds good. Lower is better. And here what I can see the preview. So that's, I mean, the new spam score capability. So assume for a second that I have now created the email. I've actually seen my spam score. Everything looks good. I'm ready to go along with it. I would now want to create a quick campaign out of it. And not only do I want to create a quick campaign, but I also want to use the new AI capabilities for my I want to use a new set of capabilities for my best time to schedule. So I come over here again, same case, I mean, it's for a partnership. So I just use one of the templates over here. And in order to quickly define, okay, when do I send it? So here I have my accounts, which are being added. Here's the email that is going to go out. I have the trigger associated with it and the part leads, so on and so forth. So let me add a scheduler over here because I want the system to automatically define when is the exact time it wants to send this email. So I would come into the scheduler, I would come into the properties, I will say it's the exact date and time, and I would say do it automatic. So I can define and what is the delay during which time it potentially needs to be sent and how much delay it can take, and let the system, based on its own intelligence that it has gathered for each particular context, try to send the email at the best potential time. So now I have created my campaign. I have actually set the spam score. I have created the campaign and have scheduled it using the new capabilities of best time to optimization, best time to send. And now I would just send out, let's say, I mean, the campaign is now currently in execution. So the campaign has started and the campaign is currently is going through as of the moment. The next thing I know is there is, for example, an email that lands up into my inbox, something to that effect, saying, okay, your dream home is closer to you. And I would say, okay, let me find out how that dream home is closer to me. I click to find out more. And as the system is going to load, you can see that it takes me to a page where the page is asking me for a little bit of more information. So this is a marketing form, but the key thing to observe is where is this page hosted? So this page at the moment you can see is not hosted on Dynamics 365 portals. It's hosted on an external CMS called Weebly. And I've easily integrated my form into a third-party CMS website and been able to connect it through my email and send it. And I can easily put in more information over here. David Lee, for example, say my same stuff, and this will automatically send my information back to the system without any loss of information, so on and so forth. So now that's, let's say, from a third-party integration website perspective, and there are more capabilities, but that's one of the examples of how we can see it. Consider that now I filled in the form for a second, right? And David Lee is the guy, or I should have actually put John Doe, but let's say, I mean, I filled in this form. The form is there. The user is now known. He is no more an unknown because I filled in the form. So I created the contact and associated the guy. So the same user now comes back to the website again. And this time, for example, I'm going to show you a difference between website personalization and how that potentially works. But for example, I've opened, let's say, an environment, the same system over here, and I've opened a website. I'm going to just refresh this into a browser where I've not entered anything. So it's a cognitive mode website, and you can see that I'm trying to open a website and it's telling me, oh, yeah, Contoso, welcome to your digital bank. So far, so good. So that's a website experience that I see. Now let's look at an experience whereby I've already entered the details and the customer would now come in, and what would he actually see if I have already entered his details? So I would come over here and let's say this is a website that I'm coming in. I'm going to enter a guy called John Doe. Again, assuming the same flow, he receives the email, he opens the web page, he fills in the form, and this time I'm filling the form called John Doe perspective. I say, remember me over here. So let me just refresh the page, maybe too long. Okay, so I say, remember me. And just let me put Contoso, say USA, and you say, okay. Okay, my name is submitted over here, And if I would have to be the same user that is going to land up, I'm going to open the same website. So I'm going to copy paste this URL, and I'm going to copy paste into a session where I just entered. I'm going to see how the same experience for the same guy is going to look now. And you can see right away that the same website has all of a sudden changed experience. It's greeting me with my name, the background image is changed, and all because I was able to tell this website who that guy is that is landing on your web page and what is his name, what is his country, whatever you inquire, and at runtime, the website experience has changed. So that's dynamic personalization. And just to make sure, that we are not faking it, I can just refresh, the same screen in another browser where I have not entered that guy, and you can see the website still doesn't know me because it says, thank you for coming to Contoso. But over here, it tells me, thank you for coming, John. And it's a pleasure to serve you. So that's dynamic personalization for us. All the things are happening nice and dandy. I posted it on the social community. I've created my content assets, which are going to be actually better. I'm going to land it into the inbox. I've created the campaign, which has sent them the email at the right time because of the best time to schedule. It has landed on my system. It has landed on my inbox. I've entered my details. And as part of that one, I'm now getting personalized interactions. Engagement with my Contoso bank. The marketer for the next thing would also want to take a look at how all his efforts are paying off. So how is his emails working as of the moment? So he could quickly go and say, okay, let me take a look at how my insights are looking at. This is the new insights that we have available. And you can see over here that already, the new look and feel for insights. They have a left navigation panel that gives you a nice structured view of what are the various KPIs you can take a look at. Not only that, but it gives you, let's say, much more details. As an example, if I would look at deliverability, you'll see we have enhanced the deliverability KPIs over here that are available. So it tells you how many emails have been sent, how many have hard bounce, how many are soft bounce, and it also tells you that there are emails that are blocked. And for example, why these emails are blocked. As an example, Mauro Marinelli is a duplicate recipient address that was there in the segment, so I did not send him an email because I already sent him this email address and email within the same customer journey, for example. And now you're able to see all the reasons why a certain email is blocked. This is some of the enhancements that we are bringing in, apart from the fact, that we have structured it very nicely with respect to all the links that are available, heat map, interactions that you can see in a much more optimized way. But also you can see, the optimal email sending time for this particular email that has been captured. So you can see, that this email was, this is how, for example, this email is the best time to send such a kind of an email, and this is what it looks like as of the moment. The same kind of insights view is now replicated across customer journey, where it can tell you right there and then again the similar kind of insights. So as you can see, it tells me, okay, I need to just change the time over here. It tells me, how the email delivery results look like, but it also gives me the same insight of what emails have gone out, what are the reasons for those blocked messages. As an example, the same insight is available on the customer journey also. So that is, let's say, from a deeper insights perspective, new, well-structured, more refined, more optimized, and much more detailed with respect to each marketing engagement activity. And finally, we would want to take a look at event management. So as I showed you, there are many capabilities that are coming as part of it, but one of the basic ones, for example, here's my events website over here. And previously, we used to actually go through the register, and there was a much more elaborate process. Now you can just directly, for example, register over here as a user. As I come in, I know that this is the sessions that are available. I can quickly see and register it directly from the landing page rather than going through a laborious way. And here I can see these are the sessions that are now getting registered, or I can finish the registration for example, from over here. And that is more or less it, let's say, from overall demo capability perspective. So we looked at, let's say, all the key capabilities, right from starting from personalization aspects to AI aspects to event management aspects, so on and so forth. There are a lot more capabilities, as I said, that are coming as part of our April release, but you will be able to find them detailed as we launch them. But these are some of the key ones. So easy on board, just to reiterate, on the same capabilities, I would just bring that screen up again. And as I said, we looked at the whole extensibility piece of campaigns and segments to the APIs. We looked at the third-party CMS, big thing for us, in this release. Onboarding experiences, the direction we are going, insights experiences, direction that we are going and how we are optimizing, doubling down on our out-of-the-box integration stories with sales and services, new capabilities that we'll continue to launch in social posting as an example, refinements and existing stuff like event registration and segmentation experience, as well as our focus and effort in AI capabilities, starting with 3 basic use cases, and we'll beef it up as going into the future, as well as, going a little bit more on the personalization side. So really, we will double down on personalization, not only website, but try to bring more and more refinements into our email personalization. Having said that, that's all I had to show from a capability perspective. You have these assets that are available. Feel free to utilize those assets. To try out the application in a trial, you'll see much more refined experiences, as I said, from when you sign up for a trial later on. Look at the demo videos, that are available, and the various assets that are available over there. Connect with us on Yammer, connect with us with the experts on all the conferences. More than happy to help you over there. And thank you very much. That's all I had to share. I would now hand over back to Peggy to close out the session.
Thank you so much, Gufran. Wonderful. And thanks to Shravan and Shailesh for doing such a great job at answering all the questions today. I've added a link to a short survey in the Q&A panel. Unfortunately, that does not work as a URL. So if you would please copy and paste that and take our survey. Let us know if you have any feedback or suggestions. And as a reminder, all attendees will receive a link to the recording via email within 48 hours. There will also be a link to the deck there. Note this will be from the learning address, so check your clutter or junk folder if you don't receive it.
Okay, that was Shailesh, Gufran, Shravan, and Megan. And so as we get ready for our next product that we will review, which will be Dynamics 365 for Sales, give us a second so we can get everyone situated and sharing. So there'll be a 5-minute break from this point.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to get started with our second product. Let's just do a quick audio check for the folks that are going to be sharing. Amit, Linda, Miriam, Daniel, are y'all able to hear? Well, let's try to unmute everyone. Well, just as you think we've gotten rid of all the gremlins, we still have one more. I guess we'll go to. Aha. Let's see if that does it. Well, this is the fun of live.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yay.
Yeah, Linda.
Improving?
What black magic did you do to unmute yourself?
I unplugged it and plugged it back in again.
But you are the only one.
Always works.
So I can start this, however, the rest of the team cannot do the demo.
Let me figure out another option.
It's not you that actually speaking, Linda. It's somebody else that is on mute. I think.
No, it is Linda.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You just need to unmute the speaker.
All right, let us know what we do.
Everybody, I know it. Everyone. It's many people. 7 of them are here.
Turn off the video.
Oh, it looks like after you guys come back in, you might have the option. All right, forgive us. We're still getting used to this funky thing called YouTube.
Yeah. I think we can agree, by the way, the Teams did much better.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, well, now that we're back on air with our second round of Gremlins, let's go ahead and get the team set up, because I know it's late in India right now. And Linda, do you want to go ahead and start it?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
I can. I'm going to mute.
Good idea. Okay.
Turn off the video.
Okay. Hi, this is Linda Simovich from the Dynamics 365 for Sales core team. And today we're going to talk about what we're releasing in our April 2019 release. There's a couple of themes that we're focused on. Are you seeing my slides progress?
No, not yet. At least we now lost your screen share.
To share again.
There's another gremlin in here apparently. All right, let me try this again.
By the way, on the live thing, we're still seeing this.
That is something completely different. Do your screen.
I think, Linda, you should turn on your speaker. Otherwise, we
Can you guys hear me? My speaker is on.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks, Proven. Okay. I'm sharing my desktop. Can you see this?
Desktop is, but you're not full. There you go. You're full screen now. Or you were. Here we go.
All right, starting over. So we're going to walk you through a couple of the core features that we're releasing in April. This is not the full scope of our release, but we're highlighting a few that we wanted to demo. There's much more available. So if you go out to our release notes, you can take a look at the full scope of what we're releasing. The core themes of the release are continuing our investment with LinkedIn relationship sales, which falls under our relationship category. And this is primarily around how you install the solution, which Gopika Ravi is going to go into details on. We're going to talk about what we're doing for productivity. Cindy Liu from the team is going to go into details on what we're doing with Microsoft Teams. We're continuing our investment in modernizing and doing role-based UI. So today we're going to highlight a couple things around Bharath Varadarajan's demo on our sales professional SKU and how an end user would get started with the product, as well as what an admin would do to configure the product the first time he logs in. We also have a short demo on what we're doing with pervasive automation, and that covers our playbooks feature and how you would attach a document to it. And then we're also going to have Daniel Dalala talk about forecasting, which we're going into public preview in April. And that would be more under a new category. This is a net new feature for the product. We have not done anything in forecasting before. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Daniel. Hopefully he can pick this up.
Yes. I'll just talk through this.
Yeah, talk through this slide.
Right, perfect. So my name is Daniel. So I'm here to present the latest investments that we've done in forecasting. Currently released as part of our April wave, and it is going to be released in preview. The forecast capability really allows organizations to configure forecasts that are based off of opportunity data and roll up of the reporting hierarchy, as long as that's in Dynamics, that's configured in Dynamics CRM. We've also released a capability of allowing sellers to commit forecasts based on a specific category, whether it's a commit, best case, close, open, pipeline, or omitted. And I'm going to show you in a few seconds how that works. The other capability that is part of this release is for the managers to be able to bring adjustments to some of these rollups. And finally, for these managers to be able to see the related opportunities as they are participating in this forecast. And finally, I'm going to show you how to create that forecast. So let's jump into a demo right now.
Yay!
Can you guys see? Can everybody see my screen? Yes, you can. All right, perfect. So the first things first is I'm going to show you how to configure the forecast. As I go into our app settings in the Sales Hub, you'll find a new category called Forecast Definition that's found under Goal Management. In Forecast Definition, this will give me the ability of creating these forecasts. Okay, perfect. So in the forecast definitions, you'll have the ability of creating as many forecasts as needed. So although we recommend creating one forecast per period, the system is flexible enough to support different types of forecasts. So let me show you what that means. As I dive into a forecast definition, the first thing I need to identify is really who's this forecast going to be for. So right here you see an owner field. The owner field represents the topmost of the hierarchy. So in this example, I have a hierarchy based off of Samuel, and Samuel has 3 people right under them. And I'm going to show you who these people are. By clicking on Samuel, I can get to their profile, and from there, I'll be able to see the hierarchy, the individual hierarchy. So if I look at the view hierarchy here, you'll see that Samuel is the manager to 3 people in this particular case. Betty, Ian, and Wade. So let me go back to the forecast definition. So back on the forecast definition, now that I know that my hierarchy is already set in Dynamics, then I can start configuring it. In this particular case, we're going to do a forecast hierarchy on the metric. So that means that it's pulling on the revenue metric. That means that it's pulling the opportunity actual data and the opportunity estimated revenue to be able to run the roll-ups. Finally, we also need to do the scheduling. So in this particular case, we're going to do a quarterly forecast. Sometimes we recommend doing a forecast for the entire year. In this example, I'm going to do a forecast for only this specific quarter. When I run my forecast, at that moment on, the algorithm goes in and automatically creates the forecast of that hierarchy. So let me show you how that works. If I go back to my sales and now I'm a manager, I can go to my performance area here under forecast. When I click on it, we'll see that the forecast that I just created is directly visible. I can identify directly that this is the related one because I can see that it leverages the hierarchy tree that I just showed you, where Samuel is the manager of Ian, Wade, and Betty. And all of their roll-ups are, in fact, calculated at Samuel's level. The columns themselves are the quota, the close, commit, and best case. All of this information comes directly from the opportunity. If we want to go into these opportunities, a very simple way of doing it is by clicking here on Show Opportunities, and then determining which opportunity owner I want to focus on. So in this case, maybe I wanted to go to Samuel, and I wanted to see all her closed opportunities. When I click Show Opportunities, I can see that she has 1 closed opportunity. Now, if I go into that opportunity specifically, we'll see the forecast stage. So let's just wait until this loads. And now in the seller persona, the sellers are really just recommended to submit their forecast every period. So in this example, as this person is looking at this opportunity, they'll get here to the forecast category, and this is where they can identify whether or not they feel confident in this opportunity, if they feel not confident, or whether it should be submitted or it should be completely omitted from their forecast. In short, this is the capabilities that we're offering as part of our forecasting preview. Please go ahead and try it out and submit your feedback. Thank you.
So now we're going to move on to relationship sales. Let me know if you can see. Okay, so for Microsoft Relationship Sales April 2019 release, we have simplified the installation and configuration experience. So what we've done is merge the 2 packages and make it available outside the sales solution. And to turn on the Relationship Sales Navigator, it's as simple as clicking on a button, which I'm just going to demo right now. Can you guys see the new business management screen? Okay.
No.
So let's first go to the Sales Hub. So I'm on an account, ADTM Corporation. This is where the LinkedIn Sales Navigator is not enabled yet. As you can see, I'm on the summary page. There are no LinkedIn Sales Navigator widgets. There are details and related tabs. But I'm going to turn on the Sales Navigator and show you how it changes the account page. So I'm under settings, settings and business management. So under business management, you will start seeing a new menu option called LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So I'm going to click on that and see the confirmation message, basically explaining what this integration is about and what it is not about. So this integration will modify the Cola pages to start showing up the LinkedIn Sales Navigator widgets. But this turning on this integration is not going to automatically turn on CRM Sync. You can see a link here with which you can go and turn on the CRM Sync if you're. So I'm going to enable integration and click on OK. And go back to the account page. And if I refresh it, as you can see, a new Sales Navigator tab has appeared where I will be able to see information about the company and the member profiles associated with the organization. Since I've already logged into my LinkedIn Sales Navigator account, I automatically start seeing profile information. But if you're not yet logged in, you will be given an option to log into LinkedIn Sales Navigator account. And if you do not have the MRS sales license, this page, once you enable under the settings, this page will show up a link for you to go and purchase the LinkedIn MRS Sales Navigator license that will enable you to see all this information that you see in here. So as you can see, enabling Sales Navigator now is just as simple as clicking on a button, and that's a new experience. Thank you.
Okay, next one, we are going to talk about Teams integration. So Teams is the new released Microsoft released collaboration hub that has a centralized immersive platform integrated with all the Microsoft and the non-Microsoft third-party applications. Our Dynamics 365 system is also implement the integration with the Teams. With that, we are allowed two ways of integration. One way is we have integrated the Dynamics into the Teams system, which will allow Teams user be able to ping a Dynamics record to the Teams collaboration channel. Also, we have launched the Teams Dynamics 365 bot. With that bot, the Teams user can do the query and get all the Dynamics information. Especially when this Teams user or Dynamics user is on the go, then they can quickly get the Dynamics system information. So this is how we integrated Dynamics into the Teams system. And in the other way, we also integrated the Teams into Dynamics. With that experience, the Dynamics user is able to see how many of the Teams channel has been connected to this Dynamics record. And also that if the Dynamics user is uploaded a document related with this Dynamics record, the Teams user is able to directly see from their Teams channel file library. It's also working in the reverse way. If Teams user is sharing files in the Teams platform, and the Dynamics users can immediately to see these shared files without leaving Dynamics. So now I'm going to show a demo. This is a Teams platform. Everyone can see my screenshot, right? This is a Teams platform, and in this Teams platform, we have different teams, which is a container, a list of the team members. Under these teams, there's several topic focused of collaboration channel. So each collaboration channel will focus on different topics to do the collaboration work. And we are provided the Teams user be able to click adding a new tab and then select the Dynamics 365 app. We launched it to the Teams App Store. And first, it will loading this user's last visited record. And then if the user cannot find the record from the last visited record list, then we also provide the search capability. So they can search by the search keywords from the dynamic system. And if the search keywords is very generic and the search result is very long, then we also provide them can narrow down the search result by entity type. So they can filter by each entity type to narrow down the search result. And then finally, they find out this record and they can successfully ping to the collaboration channel. The ping the Dynamics record page is a full functional page, which will loading all the detailed information in the Dynamics system. And also it can navigate to the other record from this functional page. They can do all the in-line update to the system in the Dynamics. And also, based on that, they can start a focused contextual conversation related with this new pinned tab. So all the conversation, they have been triggered related with this new pinned tab, then they will aggregate it. So for example, what's the status of this opportunity? And all the conversation that has been go on this specific tab will aggregated to the major conversation panel, and the person who as mentioned will receive a notification in their Teams notification panel regarding to somebody ping them and ask them for some questions, and they will go back to this conversation panel and look at what's the tab that's related with this conversation, and they can quickly click on it and then to see the detailed information. That's how it works for the embedded Dynamics experience in the Teams side. And in the other way, if this is a Teams, this is a Dynamics page. So on the Dynamics record page, we introduce this new Teams Collaborate button. If they click this new Teams Collaborate button, they will see this is two Teams collaboration channel which has connected to this record. That means this record has been pinned to this two collaboration channel, and the Dynamics user can leverage all this existing connected channel to start their collaboration work. And another thing is for the file sharing. So if the Dynamics user go to the Documents tab of this Dynamics record, it will point to the connected channel file library, and they can upload any of the documents related with this Dynamics record. And once they uploaded this document to the connected channel file library, and then the Teams user will immediately to see these files in the file library without leaving the Teams. And it's also working in the reverse way. So if Teams user was sharing files in the Teams collaboration channel, and all the files will be automatically uploaded and stored in the file library. Dynamics user, without leaving Dynamics page, they will see all the latest information for these related files. So the file sharing across the two systems is enhance the very tight integration between the two systems. And the last thing I want to show is, besides we are allow the Teams user to ping an individual Dynamics record to the Teams collaboration channel. Now we are enhance the experience. We also provide the Teams user can ping a Dynamics view to the Teams channel. So this view, Dynamics view, will have defined criteria in the Dynamics system. Once the view is being pinged, so it will showing all the list of matching record. It will dynamically getting all the matching Dynamics record in the view tab. And of course the Teams user can see the detailed information from the pinned view tab. Okay, so that's all for the Teams integration experience with Dynamics.
Thank you, Cindy. Are you unmuted still?
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and play a video, and this is going to be over our playbook. So give me 1 second.
Hello everyone, my name is Paramita Chatterjee and I'm a product manager in Dynamics 365 for Sales team. Today I'm going to talk about playbooks. Playbooks in the Sales Hub app of Dynamics 365 for Sales are a great way to automate repeatable processes and respond to external events. With playbooks, automation can trigger a play that creates a set of tasks and activities needed to remedy a situation. Let us now look at how we can create a playbook template and launch it. Sales manager or users with playbook administrator role can create playbook templates for common business scenarios. The templates use playbook categories to define the event or scenario. For example, the event could be the departure of a decision maker from an organization your sales rep is dealing with. To create a playbook template, go to playbook category, which is under the playbook management section within the app settings. Select New on the command bar to open the playbook category form. Enter Decision Maker as the name of the playbook category. Provide a short description and save. To create a playbook template, navigate to Playbook Template under Playbook Management. Click on New and provide the required information. So let us enter category as Decision Maker Departure. Name automatically populates as the category name, which you can edit. In Track Progress, select whether to track the progress of the playbook by creating the activities under the playbook instance or under the calling record, which could be your lead, opportunity, or an account. In this case, let us have it as yes, which would essentially create the activities under the playbook instance once the playbook is launched. In estimated duration, enter the approximate number of days it would take to complete the playbook after it has been launched. Let us now save this. Now let us select the record types for which the playbook template is applicable. One playbook can apply to multiple record types. You can choose from account, contact, opportunity, lead, quote, order, and invoice. Let us select account and opportunity as the record types for which this playbook is applicable. Under the playbook activities, a sales manager can add the set of activities that the sales rep should go do once the playbook is launched. Currently, we support 3 types of activities: task, phone call, and appointment. Let us first create a phone call activity. Relative due date is the number of days within which this activity needs to be completed once the playbook is launched. Once the required information is entered, we can save this. Let us add another task to this playbook activity. As you can see, there's a note which calls out that you can attach related documents to this activity once the activity is saved. This is an enhancement that we have shipped with the April release to attach documents to playbook activities to provide more contextual information to sales reps when they're working on playbooks. Now let us attach some document to this playbook activity by navigating to related documents. This opens the SharePoint subgrid and we can add documents to the playbook activity. Once required information is provided in the playbook template, we see that the activities have been created and all sales material are attached. We are good to publish this playbook template. So now switching context, let's see how a sales rep can launch a playbook. Playbooks can be launched either manually or it can be an automated process based on entity record events.
Okay. I believe next up will be Miriam. Or maybe, Miriam, did we lose you?
Hello everyone, my name is Paramita Chatterjee and I'm a product manager in Dynamics 360. Hello everyone, my name is Paramita Chatterjee.
Brother, you're next.
Hey, Purvin, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, awesome. So hello all, this is Bharat. We are going to look at the sales professional application next. The focus of the April release of the sales professional app is the simplification of the first run experience. With the April update, when any user opens the sales professional application for the first time, they are going to be welcomed by a screen which looks similar to what you're seeing on the screen now. The users can easily discover videos about the product by clicking on the lens in the welcome screen. That can help salespeople get a quick overview of how this application can help them be productive. We also have videos targeted for the admin personas to help them get ramped up on how to configure the application itself. We have also revamped our documentation pages and provided learning modules for both salespeople and for admin personas. And when the user logs into the application for the first time, apart from the collateral about the application that they discover, they can also choose to either go ahead and explore the application and check out what features it provides by using sample data. Or if you're an admin for the app who has just bought the application and you want to set it up for your organization and get them on board, you can click on the setup button that's available to you and jump into the sales settings. One of the complaints that we have often heard from customers is that it takes a lot of effort to figure out what settings in Dynamics are relevant for the sales professional application, and they need to go into multiple different apps to set them up. We have tried to simplify that with the April update. We have added a section called Sales Settings to the Sales Professional app. This provides one place within which you will find all different configurations that are related to the Sales Professional app. We have also tried to categorize them and organize them in such a way that it's easy for our users to figure out which of these settings are more important than the others. We recommend that if you have subscriptions to SharePoint and email, you can set them up and import your data into the app before you get started. We have also tried to simplify some of the core configurations. For example, setting up SharePoint just requires providing the right SharePoint URL, and by clicking on Connect SharePoint, your organization would be connected to SharePoint, and it would be enabled for all the key entities that are included in Sales Professional. You can also quickly import data. You can bring in your leads, opportunities, accounts, or even contacts data from your previous CRM systems or from Exchange. And if you do not have any past data to bring in and you just want to explore the app with sample data, it's very simple as well. We install the sample data by default. You can remove it if required. If you want to invite your wider team into the Sales Professional app, you can quickly do it from within the app itself. You just need to click on Add New User, and this will allow you to quickly add a user to the Office portal and provide them with the right privileges for accessing the application. And if you have subscriptions to Exchange, you can quickly set up server-side synchronization and enable mailboxes for all your colleagues. The process is very simple. We take care of most of the setup process behind the scenes. You just need to click on this one button which says Approve and Test Mailboxes, and it will automatically approve and set up mailboxes for all pending users who use Sales Professional app. You also have a bunch of other configurations that are relevant to your application available within the settings page. Under advanced settings, you can change the branding and theming, the look and feel of your application. You can organize your colleagues into teams and give them access to different records. You can upload Word and Excel templates, which can help you access your Dynamics data outside. You can also set up automatic generation of quote and invoice documents and store them on SharePoint if you have subscription to SharePoint available. We also make available the different customization options from within the Sales Professional app. You can quickly review the list of forms, views, and DPFs from within the app itself. And if you want to edit any of these, you just need to select the component that you want to edit and click on the edit button. That will open the right form designer or view designer as applicable for you to make your customizations. Apart from the settings itself, in case users at any point in time need more training, they can discover a revamped documentation and learning modules from within the application. We try to provide links to all those resources from within the application itself. To summarize, we have tried to simplify the first run experience and the experience of configuring the different settings that are related to the sales app in our April update. Do please check out the new first run experience and share feedback. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. might have some people going on. Hi, so we're starting our presentation for Sales Insights. You're going to see our deck in a minute. So my name is Amit, and with me in the room is Miriam and a panda. Oh, that's my thing. And we're going to walk you through the release, the spring release for Sales Insights. Thank you, by the way, Core Sales. It was amazing. So let's get started. So the way we kind of look at Sales Insights is through the notion of we take normal sales processes that you conduct in the sales application, and we try to enrich them, improve them, drive better outcome through the infusion of AI and insights into those processes. And we do that across numerous sales scenarios, and you'll see that as we kind of progress with our offering, release by release, we're going to touch on more and more of those scenarios and drive better results. As you can see here, like when we look at sales productivity, we have a bunch of scenarios focusing around how we take a sales assistant story and drive better productivity for sellers, how we guide sellers through a guided AI guided engagement, how we take relationship selling to the next generation through relationship insights, and obviously you saw Daniel talk about forecasting. We're gonna enrich forecasting with predictive forecasting. And the same apply for manager and manager reporting. As it comes to this, spring release, we have basically two main dates that we are kind of focusing our market moment around. The first one is April itself, in April we are basically now announcing that the entire Sales Insight portfolio is available globally for every customer in every region. And then the second piece that is going out the door right now is the assistant setup, and you'll see more about this amazing tool in a few minutes, and you're also going to see an amazing demo of this. And then around the August timeframe, we're going to ship to market a new assistant, a new view for the assistant running in Teams, and we're going to also release to market a new app called Interaction Intelligence, which is focusing on conversation and kind of giving you insight about the way your sellers are conducting those conversations with potential customers. So let's go through those feature sets. Let's talk about them and then dive into demos of each of them. So first of all, as I think most of our customers know, we have already a very overarching and big portfolio in market. However, this portfolio was so far very much limited to the US region since the release of this portfolio in last October. And with the spring release, we're taking all of that portfolio and now bringing it to any region across the globe, and very much waiting for customers to start using this in different regions and provide feedback for us. I'm not going to walk through all of that feature set, even though I believe it is new for a bunch of customers in different regions, but this is again already out there. You could learn more about it in our documentation, see demos on YouTube, and everything. So this is global availability of our portfolio. Then going forward, I want to start talking about a new domain that is kind of unique to what Dynamics is bringing to the table, that is really with no match to any other player here, and that's a domain that we refer to as Sales Assistant and Sales Assistant Setup. The Sales Assistant and Sales Assistant Setup is basically looking at both how do we drive a seller's productivity through giving him a set of recommendation and action in the right context, in the right time, when they are spending time either on the go or they are back in the office and working through their sales application. And then on the other side of the aisle, how do we give organization control of those experiences? How do we make organization be able to kind of tailor those actions for specific sellers. How can they drive, sellers to the right action and be much more proactive in the way they engage their customers. We believe that this portfolio of both, assistant on different surfaces and assistant setup is kind of bringing those two stories together and drive, could drive an amazing outcomes for customers. Let's first talk about the assistant setup. So really, assistant setup is an evolution of something that we already had in market for a while now, which is the Dynamics Relationship Assistant. Dynamics Relationship Assistant was based on 35 out-of-the-box scenarios that were looking at different aspects of how we help sellers be more proactive. And now with the sales assistant setup, or with the assistant setup, we are opening this customization experience to every organization and allowing both organization and ISV community to start building their own logic to surface those type of action and cards and action for their sellers. You'll see in a minute a full demo of how you use this, but general term, think about this ability to take any type of proactive action you want your sellers to take and start building logic to represent that and drive this type of action. And with that, I'm going to move over to Miriam to give you a demo.
All right, let me demo the assistant setup. So as Amit mentioned, as a seller, we currently have a feature that's called the Relationship Assistant. So if you're a seller, you can, once you open the Dynamics 365 Sales Hub, you start seeing your dashboard. And part of that dashboard is the Relationship Assistant. The Relationship Assistant gives you proactively what is the next thing that you should be doing. What is something that maybe you're missing? Maybe something that will help me drive my quota further. One of the things that we see here today is, well, opportunity close date has passed. The opportunity close date has passed is an insight that we had provided as a product, and it was not very. We got the feedback that it was not very useful for some organizations. They would like to customize it. They would like to kind of change the logic of what needs to be happen. So now with the April release, any organization is able to create their own insights or own actions and based on the logic that they want and put in the text that they need. So in this scenario, the seller gets a card that tells them that there's an opportunity which is unlikely to close. So internally, we detected that there's a close date coming up in a few days, and the probability for this to close is only at 55%. So me as an organization, I want you as a seller not to focus on this opportunity, but maybe go on something that is important right now. So as a seller, I get this notification now that I think I should move this opportunity out. So I can go in. I can open the opportunity right away from the cart and close it out. To kind of talk a little bit about how this is now being set up. So now that the opportunity loaded, so as a seller, I can change the dates if I want to, and change the close date to be something at a different time. So now to kind of talk a little bit about what we actually now added as part of the capabilities organizations have. So you can, once you, as an organization, identify a type of card or insight that you would like to show, you can go to the assistant setup experience. You can do that by switching here to the app settings. And then in the app settings under sales intelligence, under system configuration assistant, you will find a new AI setup experience that helps you create new assistant cards. So as part of, as Amit mentioned, the main thing that we rely on is actually Microsoft Flow to create these cards. So if I come up with a new scenario that I would like to have shown up in the assistant, I can start from this button. It gives me a set of templates or set of suggested items that I could follow up on. So, for example, if I wanted to see the opportunity health should be updated, I can use a template that was created within Flow and just start off with that. Start to configure it so that it matches my requirements. And once I save it, it runs, and then whenever now my a record is updated and the health score is above a certain value, then it creates a cart in the sales assistant. Now let's go back to the setup that we just talked about. So once we talked about the scenario about this opportunity which is unlikely to close, and so I need to move out. The requirement I got from the business as a organizational engagement enablement manager, sales enablement manager, is that as part of I need to update this. So the ways I can update it, it could be I can change who it is displayed to. I can select different roles. I can move it high priority, meaning I can move it up to kind of see for my sellers to see it at a higher space. And I can again go into flow and set it and change some of the settings. So for example, in my scenario, it is that we want the organization doesn't feel that just 10 days ahead telling people that they need to update this this opportunity is not helpful. We want to kind of move it out to be further ahead. So we can go easily inside, change one of the values inside of the flow that creates the card. And once now this runs, now rather than just looking at opportunities that are closing in the next 10 days, we can look at opportunities that are closing in the next 15 days and create cards and actionable items for sellers to do ahead of time. Like I mentioned, if I want to, there's multiple ways for me to kind of prioritize cards in the assistant feed. One is through setting a card as a high priority. The other option is for me to kind of create a ranking systems that kind of some ranking rules that push certain cards to a higher position, and these rules can relate to related entity information such as estimated revenue, or if a certain address, if a contact is in a certain area. So this concludes the demo of the AI setup, assistant setup. So basically, with the April release, basically rolling out right now is the ability for organizations to create new cards with Flow. The nice thing about Flow, it has a bunch of, I recommend you to look at it. It has a lot of connectors in place that you can already use to connect to different systems to create cards such as Office, OneDrive, a bunch of other services that you can connect to, drive triggers from to create new cards that now then show up inside of the assistant and help sellers focus on what's important right now and go to the next level of engagement. All right, so that concludes my demo, and I'm handing over to Amit to continue.
So that concludes the first demo. Now we're going to move to talk about our next phase of the spring release, which is everything that is coming around the August timeframe. So the first thing on the list is a new face for the assistant. So we saw, as Miriam presented, we saw the web experience for the assistant, which is running in the unified interface. The next version, or the next step, is now assistant in Teams. So you as a seller using Teams would be able to see assistant running in Teams and giving you in context, timely based recommendation. We are covering a bunch of scenarios, focusing predominantly with this release on allowing you to be preparing for a meeting, taking after meeting notes, and then also driving towards specific actions based on cards that are being shown to you from your admin. We are also going to, over time, allow you to have conversational interaction with CRM through the assistant interface. We're going to have a bot experience that running in Teams that will allow you to have conversation, ask questions, and drive action. With the assistant and CRM. Then the next item on the list, a very important piece, is an experience we call interaction intelligence for sales coaching. And interaction intelligence for sales coaching is taking the ability of a manager and a seller in both a call center and in an office scenario where they record calls and conversation with customers to take that thing to the next level. What you see today in most of those scenarios is that you have a rep spending time talking to customers. You have sometimes a manager kind of, trying to tap into some calls and understanding what's going on in those discussions. And then you have a discussion about what you could have done better, how you can improve your performance as a coaching scenario that is really focused on some very limited amount of data and, is really almost like flying blind in those scenarios. What interaction intelligence will allow, a manager and a seller to start doing is to look at this much more as a data-driven process where you can actually see every conversation that happened, tap into both a high-level KPI, my entire workforce, and how well they're performing across different metrics. And we're going to see a demo soon that you're going to see more of that. But, generally just seeing everything that goes on in my call center down to the individual rep and their individual call with specific customers and learn what works well, what does not work well, and help, coach and promote sellers' performance and bring it to the next level. So that's the first, piece. And then with the same kind of interface, we're also bringing into public preview a capability we call business Q&A. And really what business Q&A allows you to do is just to go into a simple interface and ask big questions about, about your data. The ability here is transformational from the perspective of manager being able to, ask really natural language questions about data and then getting results and getting reports and visuals that that answers those type of questions. And again, really excited about this feature set, and you're going to see a quick demo of this coming up.
All right, let's switch to the second set of demos. So as Amit mentioned, one of the features that we're bringing out is the call intelligence or interaction intelligence scenario. So in call intelligence, what we do is we help managers get insights into what is happening, what is happening between his sellers and the customers. Currently, if you're a manager in inside sales and you want to know what's going wrong or what's not going so well with your customers, you would have to listen to every single sales rep and like spend hours and hours to just understand, okay, where can we improve? With this feature, you'll be able to analyze all your call recordings and find what needs to be improved. Once we analyze the call recordings, what we can do is we can help you understand, okay, what is the sentiment between me and my customer? So how is my team performing in terms of making my customer happy? So that's the first one. How many positive conversations do we have? How many negatives? I can drill in on a personal level, like who is maybe struggling more than others. Who can I coach to kind of become a better seller? Another thing I can drill into is maybe there's a certain type of content that usually comes up with this one seller that doesn't come up with other sellers, and what is the information that happens here? So, for example, you can set up certain words that are being used inside of the conversation, and you can see how often does it come up? Is it the right information that I want them to use? So is it like maybe all of our new capabilities that they should be talking about, or are they not talking about it enough? Further, to kind of understand sentiment and content is one thing about the sales conversation, which is interesting. The other one is like what's the conversation style of the seller? Because sometimes maybe the customers are not feeling so happy or are not very happy because your seller doesn't even listen to them. So we can analyze based on like what is listening to talking ratio, and give the manager insight of like, okay, this guy, this David, he's really good at listening to customers. Others might not be as well. So maybe teach them about asking more leading question and more questions, open-ended questions, or similar rates. How often do they switch between customer and sales rep? How much how fast are you talking? So there's a bunch of KPIs that a manager can now take to kind of talk with one of their sellers. The other option is like once a manager figures out where maybe his organization has some improvement, he can also drill in onto a sales rep, into a sales rep view, where on a sales rep level, in like a one-on-one, they can look at what is like the general some general tips and insights that this seller could be helped with. So you can drill into individual calls this person had over the past few weeks. What is the average talk to listen ratio? What's the average sentiment over time? Is he improving? Is he not? Is improving in sentiment, in positive sentiment? All of that, and then finally can go into each individual call and see even the transcript of that call to kind of drill deeper into what is happening. So now this concludes the interaction intelligence information, and we're going to invest a little bit more into that to kind of give you more insights onto what as a manager you can help your sellers with. The other part that is that you can see in this view is the business Q&A. So business Q&A is giving you a natural language interface to kind of get information about your data. While we provide you with like some dashboards that can help you understand what's happening in your business, you might have a very similar different question. So with a quick, you can type any question that you like, or many questions that you like. And once you type them, what we'll find out is like, okay, well, how could we best answer this question? And once we found the right answer, we'll show that to you as part of like a report, giving you the information needed. And we'll just load a little bit. So you could start also changing the question as you go, getting more feedback there. That's fine. All right. In interest of time, let's move to the final slide.
Yes. So again, thank you for everybody that stayed with us. And so just to close here, the story of everything that we have in market and how it's all kind of plays together. So again, as Miriam showed you, in a way, we see you can start from the sales performance insight. You learn how well is your sellers performing, and can see how is your business overall performing. From that scenario, you drive into sales coaching, and you can basically take a seller and see how they could improve their own individual performance. You as a manager can help, and they could also self by themselves just go and learn and see what other sellers are doing, and learn from that how to improve themselves. And then from that, we drive into the AI studio. So once I understood that there is a problem that is generic, or I saw some behavior that could really help other sellers excel, I just build that logic into the studio. And from that point, I can start driving sellers, sellers actions. And then lastly, sellers both on web and on the go can start seeing those actions and drive toward better outcome that then in turn would promote better performance in my overall business. So as you can see, we're looking across the sales processes, and we're looking at the full organization picture, and basically providing tools that will allow you to take sales performance to a much more science, data-driven business, and get the results that you want. And with that, I'm gonna close this session. Thank you.
We still have Gully.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you. Moving over to Pervin to take over.
Oops.
All right, and thank you too. We have one more video that we're going to show, at least in this
bucket of what we call Dynamics 365 for Sales. So give me 1 second to queue this up. And hopefully I don't mess it up. There we go. All right. So let's.
Microsoft Forms Pro is a simple yet comprehensive enterprise survey solution for business to capture and analyze customer and employee feedback to improve the business. Let's take a look at how Forms Pro helps one of our customers, their Touristic, to collect feedback from their customer. Their Touristic is one of the biggest travel company in Europe. The company is using Forms Pro throughout their operation. One of the use cases is to collect feedback from their customer after a trip. Let's recreate the survey for their Touristic. The company would like to personalize the survey question by adding information such as customer name and the travel destination. Forms Pro support adding personalized data in your survey. You can add more personalized data such as travel destination. I will cover how this personalized data is automatically populated a bit later in the demo. You can add the personalized data into your question. Let's add more questions such as NPS or Net Promoter Score. The company would like to have comments based on the NPS score and have different questions based on what user enter as the value. You can add conditional logic in Forms Pro using branching rule. Create a new rule and select the question to set the condition. Then specify what question to show or hide depending on the condition. Let's hide the question by default and only show them after the user answered the NPS question. Now we are ready to test. You can validate the rule by previewing the survey. You can preview the survey on desktop or mobile mode. One more thing the Touristic would like to do is to brand the survey. You can add logo, and they will use Apollo as the brand of their travel company. And you can change the background color of the header by specifying the color code and change the background image to the page by uploading the image. Now we are ready to distribute the survey. Their Touristic would like to automate the survey distribution. Forms Pro has a built-in integration with Microsoft Flow. You can automatically send a survey when a record is updated in your CRM system. Earlier, I showed you how to add personalized data in your survey. Using Microsoft Flow, you can populate the personalized data by mapping them to the value that you can look up from the CRM system through Microsoft Flow. Forms Pro include a built-in report to help you quickly get insight from your survey. Answer from survey response is summarized, and if you have comments, it includes a word cloud to make it easy for you to review the survey comments without having to read every response. All the survey responses from Microsoft Forms Pro are automatically written to Common Data Services or CDS that is used by Microsoft Flow, Power Apps, and Power BI, which means that in addition to use the built-in report, you can build a custom Power BI report without needing to first having to export the data and re-import it into your reporting solution. CDS is also the backend data for Dynamics, which means that if you are sending survey to your customer in Dynamics 365, the survey invites and the survey responses are automatically captured as part of your Dynamics 365 customer activities. In summary, Forms Pro enables you to easily create a survey, automate distribution of your survey, and analyze your survey response. Forms Pro is now available for preview, and I invite you to give it a try by going to formspro.microsoft.com. Let me know your feedback. I would love to hear your story on how you use Forms Pro to help you collect insight from your customers and employees. Thank you for watching.
All right. All right, so we've covered sales. And if you have questions, we will continue to have at least one or two people left from the sales team to answer questions. And we will be pausing to get the customer insights team here in the next 10 minutes. So go grab some food, a drink, snack. We certainly have a very interesting live demo that we will show for the customer insights product. But for those of you who were wowed with all the cool capabilities that have come as part of the April release, if you have a great idea that you want us to implement, certainly go to ideas.dynamics.com, as well as powerapps.com, flow.microsoft.com, and powerbi.com for ideas that you want to submit to us for development. If you have questions or just want to stay plugged in, go to our various community sites, ask questions, get engaged. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. So certainly let us know what's working, what isn't working, and we will certainly look to make things much more pleasant and a fun experience for everyone. With that said, I can put y'all on break. Okay, we'll be starting up here in a little bit. While you wait, please do go to our community site. Under our community site, we have a wealth of information. Not only are you able to interact with us, but be able to come in and ask questions, go to our various application forums, and even learn. One of the things that we certainly like to make sure everyone has viewpoints to are our various webinars that we do. So as you can see, we have day one listed here. We do have various webinars with our MVPs, our sales and field teams, and as well as our product team members on all the things that are coming not only into our community, but also cool tips and tricks that you might not have known about. So for those of you who are interested in finding out more, these videos are on demand, free to everyone. Please do. And you can also subscribe to this page as more webinars are posted here. We're going to start becoming a little bit more webinar centric. So we want to make sure everyone has the ability to learn about Dynamics 365, as well as the platform itself, which is Power Apps, Flow, and Power BI. Just give us 1 or 2 more minutes so we get everyone situated and pulled into the meeting so we can continue on with Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. Tomorrow we'll also be covering finance and operations, retail, as well as many other items under the ERP moniker. So Business Central, we'll have all sorts of new capabilities that we'll cover across all of those products. So certainly stay tuned and we will keep you updated. We're going to do this for the rest of this week. Day 3, we'll cover a lot of customer service as well as customer service insights and a lot of our AI capabilities. Next week, we'll cover Flow, Power BI, and Power Apps and all the new capabilities coming to that. Same times next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific to 1 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, not had to mute you. You might need to unmute yourself.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're live.
There's echo whenever I unmute. Can you hear? Can you hear me now? Is it better?
I can.
All right, should we get started?
Yes, you know how to share your screen?
All right, so hi, my name is Einat Fazan. I'm a PM on the Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. We launched the product the beginning of the month, just a week ago, and I'm happy to be here today and share some information about our product and show you a live demo of what we're doing. So we're gonna start with a short video that we posted on the launch. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with Hangouts. How do I share my screen?
On the left-hand side, you'll see the screen share button, the second top.
Yeah, got it, found it. All right, so let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can I start the video?
Yes, go ahead and start with Satish.
All right.
Today, I'm very excited to share more about Dynamics 365 Customer Insights, our newest addition to the Dynamics 365 AI portfolio. Customer Insights enables every organization to unify all of their customer data, be it transactional, observational, or behavioral data, to derive intelligent insights to drive business processes. So let me show you how you can get started with Customer Insights. So here I'm on the website where you can see a big green Get Started button, which actually takes me to a trial instance. So one of the things that we've spent a lot of time on is the ability to have a 5x5 experience, which is 5 seconds to try and 5 minutes to wow. So once you click off the trial experience, it takes a few minutes. And at the end of it, what we actually have available for you is a full-blown Customer Insights instance with demo data. So you can kind of get a feel of the application, what it's capable of. So here you can see it's a finished SaaS application. And what I'm going to walk you through are 3 distinct personas, which are specifically the administrator or data analyst, the business analyst, and finally the business user. So I'm going to start off with the administrator persona, for which Customer Insights provides the fastest time to value to quickly ingest, unify, and get your data ready for the rest of your organization. So here I'm going to start off with bringing in the data. So here you'll notice that in the trial instance, we already have some of the data sources loaded up. So for example, we have data from the website logs, the online store, the retail database, Dynamics 365 for sales, and other Dynamics 365 applications as well. However, businesses are always growing. So here we also allow you to very quickly bring in new data sources. And this can be through our pre-built connectors. So we have a rich set of pre-built connectors that are able to connect to online sources or on-prem sources through our gateway technology. Once I've actually brought in the data, the next key thing is the unification process. So the unification process entails 3 key stages. The first one is map, match, and merge, which I'll actually step into more detail shortly. So the first step is obviously map. So what we're doing here is out of all these sources that were brought in, we go and automatically try and identify using a lot of the AI technology what is in this data sources. So for example, we're able to detect full names, addresses, cities, states. So wherever this data is coming in from, we automatically detect it so we can get you the 80-yard line or as close to the 100-yard line in terms of mapping this into customer identifiable information that we can use for the unification process later. Once we have actually mapped the data, the next key thing is matching the data. So Customer Insights is all about creating keys where keys don't exist. So in this case, we have all these disparate sources, and Customer Insights is helping guide you to figure out how to connect these disparate data sources. So for example, in this case, I'm able to go and figure out saying, hey, connect these using the account IDs. And in a lot of cases, it might not be as obvious. So if it's a full name, we might need to do fuzzy matching. And that's where that precision slider comes in. So if it's a finance use case, I might have exact precision. Or if it's a marketing use case, I might have it closer to medium or lower, etc. So it's very use case driven. But again, all of this is an easily configurable and intuitive experience to help create those keys across those disparate data sources where keys don't exist. The final thing is the ability to merge the data if we have conflicts, and that comes right after the match. And that's pretty much it. Every time the data refreshes, it goes to the map, match, and merge stages, and it gets the data ready for a business analyst to do more with that unified data. Now, I'm actually going to step into the business analyst persona, for which customer insights becomes the most comprehensive view of that customer in that organization. So here, I'm able to go and create segments on top of that data. So for example, in this case, it's customers who haven't purchased anything in the last year. So here I'm able to see the members of that segment. I'm able to analyze it and do more with this, right? So think of customer insights as enabling business analysts to create and discover high value segments that they might not have been aware of or be able to create previously. So another key aspect is, as a business analyst, you don't need to know SQL or anything. You can just go in and use this intuitive query builder experience to build those segments, refine them, etc. So once you have actually got these segment members, you're able to export this into your system of action. So be it Dynamics 365 for marketing or any of the other third-party applications. So that is key. So once you've built your segments, you've viewed the members, you're able to act on top of it where your systems of action are. However, one of our key differentiators is how we allow you to unlock all of this customer data using the Power Platform, be it to analyze with Power BI, act with Power Apps, or automate with Microsoft Flow. So one of the examples I have here is how we have a full-blown Power BI dashboard that's analyzing the churn of customers within Customer Insights. So here we're using the out-of-the-box Customer Insights connector for Power BI to do this analysis. So similarly, we have connectors for Power Apps and Microsoft Flow if you'd like to automate and do more with all of this Customer Insights data. So now, as a business user in Dynamics 365 for sales, I'm able to see the full single view of the customer right within where I do my job. So this truly empowers everybody in an organization to have that comprehensive view of the customer so they can deliver more personalized experiences and ultimately drive customer loyalty. So hopefully that gave you a good overview of what Customer Insights is all about. And I highly encourage all of you to go to our website and get started with the trial. We can't wait to see what you all do with Customer Insights. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, let me get back to my instance. So I want, on top of what Satish demoed, I want to add a few other capabilities that we have in our system. Measures is one of them. So in addition to segments, we allow customers to create business or customer-specific KPIs and measures. If you set up measures, you'll see them here, business measures. But we also have like a simple wizard where you can create something like lifetime value, where you combine data from different data sources into one KPI. And then this type of measures, you can then, similar to the way you see information, the profile information of customers outside of our app, you can also see the measures that you created for customers outside of our app. So I'll talk today mostly about the experiences within the app, and I can share a few other things. And again, we'll spend about 15 minutes with questions. So some other options that we have here is activities. I think you saw in the Power BI report or in the sales app contact card, you saw a timeline there. And this is, now that we have a unified view of our customers, we allow you to define all of the data, all of the entities that reflect behaviors and activities of the customers, and then show them on one timeline. So in my example, I have purchase data from two different sources. In the past, I was only able to see these activities within that system. And now, because we know that this user is the same, or this customer is the same customer across all of these silos, now within the sales app, for example, I can also see their web visits, their other purchases that are stored on some other system, tweets on their Twitter if you bring that data in, etc., etc. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that is unique to Microsoft is enrichment. So we're using the Bing data to enrich your customer profile. So in this case, when you tell us based on gender and zip code, and the age, gender, and zip code, you can choose some brands that you're interested in, and we will find affinity towards these brands based on your profile or the group, your age range, and your gender and your zip code. So for example, if you are a retailer and you want to, let's say you're Walmart and you want to see how customers in your data, what's their affinity towards Walmart, you can add that, but you can also add some of your competitors here. And then we will score, we will add some information about the customer's affinity towards these brands or industries or categories. So we do all that. In the future, we intend to add more sources of data to enrich customers' profiles with. So, and then the last thing that I wanted to show you here is you can see all of that information outside the app, but we are also giving you a view of your customers within the app. So now that we've gone through map, match, and merge, and we know who the customers are, we have this right now pretty simple tags for customers. You can search based on some search criteria. So I put, I wanted to say Washington, so I'll get customers both with that live in Washington State, or their name is Washington. I assume I might have a few customers like that. And then you can define which fields you want to be able to search by or to add some filters on. So that will also, so for example, I can show only customers from Washington or California, and then you can filter by these as well. That's true within the app as well as outside the app. As a business end user, you can see all that information when you're on Dynamics for Sales, for example. Or you can build your own app or your own, based on with Power Apps, you can build your own connection to the customer insights data. And the last thing I wanted to call out before we open for questions is everything that you see here on the with the nice UI that we built is also accessible via a layer of APIs. So if you don't want to use our UI and you want, as a customer or a partner, you want to build your own application, you're welcome to do so and just call our APIs. With that, I want to open it to questions. No questions from the crowd?
Great. I guess no questions.
So I can carry on if you want, or you're all welcome to contact us via our website, or we have blogs, or you can, we have fans, alias, that you can contact us directly.
And in addition, you have a community forum as well.
And we have a community forum as well. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Okay. All right, so we've concluded for today. At least we've covered a good bit: marketing, sales, and all the interesting capabilities and customer insights. Tomorrow, we're going to be going through talent, finance and ops, Business Central, retail, as well as a couple of additional things. And then Thursday, we will cover customer service, field service, as well as a lot of our AI products. If you have questions and you're watching this on a delay, please go down to our community forums. As you can see on the screen, it is community.dynamics.com. If you are interested in any of our other forums, certainly go to community.powerapps.com, flow.microsoft.com, and powerbi.com. All the various community sites and idea sites are available through there. Just so you have clarity, Dynamics 365 does cover our apps. Power Apps covers our platform as well as our Canvas experience. Flow covers our workflow and business process flow experience, and reporting is also handled through powerbi.com. So we have a lot of overlap on our platform with all the Power capabilities. Please explore, learn, and certainly have questions. We will answer as many as we can. Thank you for watching, and we will be back online at 9 a.m. tomorrow.